This episode goes out to Philip from Paris, Texas.
Hi there, Megan Robinson here. Welcome to the 17th episode of the Nightblade Epic Podcast. We want to remind you that we've got 2 new audiobooks out. Bloodlust and the Alchemist's Touch just released on iTunes and most ebook platforms, and they'll be coming to Audible in a matter of days. We're really enjoying producing these audiobooks for you. Garrett narrates each one, just like he narrates this show each week. And if you want to support the show, this is the best way to do it. Check out all our audiobooks at the link in the show notes. Also, if you are enjoying this podcast and you want to hear more, please leave us a review on iTunes. It helps new people find the show, and that helps us out in a big way. Okay, now it's time for today's episode. Today, you're getting chapter 26 of Nightblade, just after Lauren and the others have escaped from Auntie's clutches. Enjoy!
Nightblade, Chapter 26. They fled through the sewer for some time, or the rest of the night, or no time at all. Lauren scarcely remembered it, for she could see only vague flashes of fire as Zane kept at bay the children who pursued them. Finally he, or Mayap Jem, led them to metal rungs set in the wall. They climbed into the open air just as dawn broke in the east. Zane led them to a squat building caked with faded blue paint. He took them to a door set in the back wall where he knocked first 3 times and then rapidly twice. Jem must have noticed the somber look on Lauren's face, for he leaned over and put a hand on her arm. "It was only a dagger. It was not worth your life. You will get another." She nodded, but she wanted to shake the boy until his teeth rattled from his mouth. It had not been only a dagger. Somewhere on the road to Cabras, the knife had become a part of her. It formed as much of Nightblade as Lauren did herself. A hatch in the door slid open, and a pair of wrinkled eyes peered out. "Who is this?" "It is I, Marcus," said Zane. "You cannot have forgotten my face in only a day." "I did not mean you, boy. These ones." The eyes swept across Lauren, Jem, and Annis, lingering on the latter a bit longer. "They are friends," said Zane. "You may trust them." The eyes squinted tighter for a moment. Then the hatch slid shut. A clink sounded from within, and the door swung open. Zane ushered them in before him. Lauren found herself in a small sitting room with a round wooden table and 3 chairs. Though her mind felt numb, she took in some details: a small fireplace in one wall, lazy smoke drifting up from embers, bits of leather hung by wooden soles ready for crafting, a bottle of something red sitting next to empty glasses upon the table. The old man looked them over. He did not look precisely angry, Lauren decided, but neither did he bear a look of welcome. Rather, he seemed the sort to think that everything might be a threat. Her eyes did not miss the dagger at his waist, or the knobbly fingers that curled and uncurled beside it. "Marcus, I must ask of you a great service," said Zane. "I thought I provided one already," said the old man. "Not everyone could get you a carriage so cheap." "And I am grateful, you may believe it, but now I need more. These companions I must bring with me." The man barked a short laugh that held neither humor nor incredulity. With a wave of his arm, he showed Zane to the table and offered him one of the chairs. The wizard threw himself down gratefully, his hands going to the red bottle without hesitation. "You want to sit, girl?" It took Lauren a moment to realize that Marcus had spoken to her. "You other lot, make yourselves welcome on the floor. I can strike a fire if you have taken a chill." He looked Annis up and down. The girl had tried to scrub out the filth that soaked her dress, but she could not get it all. Marcus's nose twitched. "And mayhap you would like fresh clothes as well." Annis murmured thanks, and Marcus shrilled a short whistle. A young girl appeared from the front of the house. For a moment she looked so thin, her eyes so wide, that Lauren feared she might be one of Auntie's children. But this girl's dress seemed well mended, if rather plain, and she did not bear that haunted, hungry look that all of Auntie's orphans wore like a cloak. "Dearie, fetch this girl a dress. None of yours, they are far too small. One of your sisters. Quickly now." The girl nodded and vanished. Marcus turned back to Lauren. "Sit. You look half dead." Lauren shrugged and went to the chair by Zane. The wizard had already poured and drained one glass. He filled another, and then a glass for Marcus. A third he pushed towards Lauren. "Here, something for your courage." Lauren looked at the glass. She thought it held wine, but a wine darker and browner, somehow, than she had ever seen. She had never tasted wine. It was common enough at festivals in the Birchwood, but her parents insisted she was too young. If Lauren pressed the point, she knew what to expect from her father, and certainly her parents had never seen the value in spending coin on something so frivolous as drink. Upon the night she left, in fact, she had planned to have her first sip. Her parents could no longer object. They sought to put her up for dowry, after all, and how could a man judge his future bride if he could not drink with her? But then had come Zane and the constables, and she had left behind wine and festivals and her parents and Chet. Dear, dear Chet. She looked at Zane and wondered. Would she go back, if she could? Could she call herself happy here, now, in this place, when every waking moment seemed to be a flight from death or a fight for survival? Then she thought of her father's face as she loosed the arrow into his leg. No, she would never return to that. She placed the glass to her lips and took a healthy sip. It poured down her throat, burning like mage fire. She almost coughed it back up, hacking and sputtering, but part of her mind thought, I could stand another. Yes, good, is it not? Marcus's wrinkled lips split his pure white beard in a smile. My own make of brandy wine, and likely stronger than you are used to. Lauren gulped and sat up straighter. She raised the glass to her lips again. Knowing what to expect, the second swallow tasted better, sickly sweet, biting, and warm. A bit stronger, yes, said Lauren, but far from a terrible vintage. Marcus gave her a final smile before he turned to Zane. Well, then, about your favor. I cannot put these children on your carriage. What? Lauren, Jem, and Annis spoke in unison. Zane took another deep sip from his cup. Go on, then. Why not? I must pay my driver, as you know. His rates to move shoes are not so steep, but people fetch a heavier price. And you might think it is all the same moving one body or moving four. It is all one carriage, after all. But the constables catch you with one charge, mayhap they take a hand or a foot. 2, and they will take your tongue and kick you from the city for good. But 4, it means the block, and you and I, and most importantly, he, know it. The constables want only me, and mayhap this one, but only because they think she helped me escape, said Zane, tossing his head at Lauren. The boy and the girl have done nothing wrong. They would be nothing more than passengers. They can ride on the driver's seat with my friend, then? Said Marcus. He studied Zane's face as it fell. As I thought. You are all of you running from something, and fleeing others outside the king's law is in many ways worse than running from constables. At least most constables will not slit your throat in the moon's light. How much would he need? Said Zane. Marcus's eyes grew crafty. Well, I could not tell you without speaking to him, but let us say he would do it for... Their voices faded to murmurs in the back of Lauren's mind. Her hand dropped to her belt, where her dagger's sheath hung lonely. She stuck the edge of her thumb in its mouth, running it around the edge. The dagger of power. The dagger that could master a constable's duty. The dagger her parents should never have owned, that had seemed as out of place in their kitchen as a dragon. Yes, just a hunk of fine metal wrapped in leather, Lauren knew. But it was hers, and she knew what she had to do. She poured the rest of her glass down her throat, wincing as it burned in her chest and rushed to her head all at once. Then she pushed back her chair and stood, planting her fingers on the table before her. Zane and Marcus stopped talking, looking up at her in surprise. "I will not be going," she said. Zane blinked. "You cannot mean to stay." "Not for long, but Auntie has stolen something from me. I must take it back." Zane looked over at Jem and then at Annis. Both of them shrugged. "Have you lost your wits? It is a matter of honor." Zane barked a laugh. "Honor? Who cares for that? Do you think that thieving queen of infants will care for your honor when you come to her and ask for your dagger back?" "I will beg for nothing," said Lauren, surprised by her own fervor. "I will take it." Zane shook his head, reached over, and snatched Lauren's glass. "It seems hardly possible that you should be drunk already, and yet you must be." "I am not," said Lauren, though she could feel a slight wooziness settling in. "I will do this and meet you on the road." Zane shook his head, poured another glass, and drained half of it. Lauren saw Marcus's mouth twist in annoyance. The wizard missed it, raising his glass to Lauren and pointing one long, delicate finger. "If you stay, you will die. The matter is that simple. Or, mayhap, you will find yourself in a constable's cell and put to the question. If that happens, they will know where to find me. So you see, more thoughts than concern for your safety spur my decision. I cannot let you stay." "Let me? Who said I was yours to command?" Zane frowned, his thick brows drawing together again. "No one. But I am, you will forgive me, wiser in this world than you have proven yourself to be. And yet we both find ourselves fleeing from constables, and in my case, because of you only. I will take no lessons in right and wrong and wisdom from a wizard outside the king's law." Zane opened his mouth, but Marcus put up a hand to forestall him. "Zane, she may have some merit. You cannot leave together in any case. Why not let her stay, and one of the others? I will find them passage in time." "Time they do not have." Zane looked at Lauren again and hesitated, as though he would say more if he could. Finally he stood from the table and made for the door. "Outside." Lauren followed, her mind a blur. She could not have said whether it came from the wine or Zane's mysterious look. Outside, the sky grew ever lighter as the sun cleared the horizon at last. Zane closed the door behind them and paced the alley's width for a moment. When he stopped, it was to fix Lauren with an angry glare and a pointed finger. "What game do you play at, girl?" "No game, only I cannot abide the thought of Auntie keeping that dagger. It is mine, part of me. I will take it back or die in the attempt." "No," said Zane, swiping his hands in a single line like a throat being cut. "You will die. You will find no ore, no chance for any other outcome. Who do you think you are, forest girl? One does not walk into a throne room and tell the king to relinquish her crown if one wishes to walk out again." Lauren's hands clenched at her sides. "You do not understand. That dagger, I need it. I need to learn what it means." Zane looked mystified. "A dagger rarely has a meaning. What do you speak of?" "Corin, you remember him? The shorter constable?" Zane nodded. "When they caught me, Corin searched me and found the dagger. When they caught me, Corin searched me and found the dagger. The moment he saw it, he seemed a different person. He took me off alone, and once out of sight, he let me go. He told me... He said to tell my masters that he had helped me." Zane's mouth fell open. "Masters? What masters?" "I know not. I know only that somehow that dagger may stay even the king's law." Zane's eyes darkened as though remembering some unwanted memory. Again he bowed and shook his head. "A matter of great interest, to be sure, but hardly a cause to throw your life away. The dagger could breathe gouts of flame and raise the dead. and yet now that it is in the Therianthrope's grasp, you will never see it again." Lauren gave an exasperated growl. "Speak like a common man, the were-mage. And if I must die fighting her, so be it. At least it is my own choice." That stopped Zane. Idly he turned and ran his hands down the smooth wooden doorframe. "You would risk everything for this." "And more," said Lauren. "When a part of you is in danger, you must be willing to risk the rest of yourself to save it." Zane rolled his eyes as he reached to open the door. "If you would convince me, do not speak with such childishly eager words." Marcus accepted the change easily enough. Then it came time to decide who would stay and who would go. Jem insisted on remaining by Lauren's side, and she felt glad for it. Jem knew more about Cabras and Auntie than Lauren could ever hope to. Annis, too, wanted to stay, but Lauren would not hear of it. "You must away," she said. "Your mother hunts you most eagerly. You stand to lose much if she catches you." "You stand to lose much more if she should find you," said Annis, pouting. "Auntie is not the only one who wishes to have you in her grasp. My mother will not stop looking for you." Lauren smiled at that. "Indeed, but she will not catch me. She gave me the means for her own defeat." She swept the cloak up and across her face until only her eyes gleamed through a gap in the cloth. Annis slapped her arm. "Do not be ridiculous. You must promise me. Promise, you understand, that you will be careful." "I promise, and willingly." As Marcus summoned the carriage driver, Annis changed to a fresh dress of muted gray. She and Zane wrapped themselves heavily in rags stained with shoe polish, gifts from Marcus's refuse heap. They would pose as lepers one last time, hoping for constables to give them a wide berth as they left the city. "We will ride south until sundown and find a place to wait," said Zane. "On the third night from this we shall depart. I hope, against wisdom, that you will be leaving with us." "I will be there if I can," said Lauren. "If you do not see me, get Annis safely to the next city. Beyond that, I will not burden you with her." "I will do as you ask." Zane turned and boarded the carriage. Annis approached next. The girl's usual bluster had fled, and her lip quivered as she looked up at Lauren. "Will you not think upon it one last time, and come with us?" said Annis. "I promise I will buy you a finer dagger than ever you have seen, if only you will leave this cursed city." "I will see you 2 days hence. Spare no worries on my account." Annis nodded, but she looked miserable. "Here, take this." She reached into her cloak and pulled forth her bulging purse. "In case you need it. I hope I shall not require it upon the road." "Thank you." Lauren only hoped that the coin would not find its way into Auntie's hands, pulled from her own cooling corpse. She stepped forwards, speaking quick and low. "Do you still bear a certain package, one of brown cloth?" Annis's eyes flashed. "I do. It has not left my side since we escaped my mother." "Take care of it," said Lauren. "It may prove most useful, but whatever you do not tell Zane about it." Annis looked at her curiously. "Why? What is it to him?" She thought of the constables and what they had said when they caught her. Magestones they had called the black rocks. "I do not yet know. Only I know he should not know you have it. Not yet, at any rate. Be safe." She helped Annis board the carriage. The driver, an obese man with one eye, snapped the reins, and the carriage rolled off down the street. "Now there goes your best chance of escaping this city," said Jem. "I say your best chance, of course, for it is well known that nothing can kill me." "Well known indeed," said Lauren. "Come, let us eat. We have a burglary to plan."
This has been a production of Legacy Books, written and narrated by Garrett Robinson. The music in this podcast was created by Will Musser. Check out his incredible work at willmusser.com. That's WILLMUSSER.com. Today's letter is C. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.